All right, let's jump right into it. I want to do a quick little overview of the iCarSoft scan tool. This is a scan tool that I've owned for about 5 years now. Purchased it on Amazon. I think it was about 130 bucks when I first purchased it. I took a look earlier today. It's currently selling on Amazon for 146 bucks, something like that. You know, that compares with the GAP tool, which is VIN locked. GAP tool sells for $525, right? So I think the first thing I want to just mention to everybody, just so you kind of know where I'm coming from. This is not a comparison video because, number one, I've never used a GAP tool. I have, understanding based on, what I see on other YouTube creators' channels. But I don't think it's a fair comparison, to be honest with you. I think it's comparing apples and oranges. This is quite a basic scan tool. What makes it unique for Land Rover owners is that it does actually speak to virtually all of the modules. At least it speaks to all of the modules in my LR3. I had a full-size Range Rover that I got rid of probably a year ago, and it served very well for that vehicle as well. When you go on to Amazon, the Amazon page where they're selling these, you look through some of the reviews, and it is interesting to see what people are saying. For the most part, guys are really happy, but you get a couple of comments of people who say, hey, it didn't work for me, it didn't speak to this module or to that module, I couldn't get it updated, this type of thing. But that's, I'll just tell you, that's not been my experience. And so, I hate to say it, but it's probably user error. Yeah, that's my thought on that. All right, so when you log in, this is what it looks like, or when you plug it into your OBD2 port. And a couple of different things here. This is generally where you want to go into the Land Rover section, but you have some other things. If you get your electronic parking brake stuck, there's an unjam procedure in here, steering angle reset. And unless you have a diesel, you shouldn't be using that. Okay. So you go into the Land Rover module. Nice vehicle selection in here. And it's going to have pretty much everything. Any modern vehicle that had OBD2 connectivity. Okay. I have updated this in the past. So there's 2 versions on here. There is a couple different ports, USB-Cs. And then behind this little door number 1 here, there is a SD card, and so that's how you update it. And it was quite easy to update. So that's that. Let's take a look. This is the vehicle lineup in here, and pretty much everything you can imagine. I'd be interested in updating this again to see if there's the new Defender would come up in here. These are late model Defenders that obviously didn't come to the US, but I'm curious to see if they've updated it since. Okay, that's the vehicle lineup. I'm sitting in my Disco 3. Oh, oops, let's go back. Let's go to Disco 3, and I got the V8. Okay, automatic and manual. So automatic is going to scan all the modules, and manual, you can select the module manually. Ah, brilliant, right? So I will tell you that as far as utility goes, 95% of the time, I'm in the engine control module. Okay, I'm going to run them all. You can see which modules it's going to speak to quickly, but we'll see them in a second. Just see them. This is probably the only reason I choose manual versus automatic, is because I have to wait for it to do this, and that's like 10 seconds of my life here. Oh my goodness, the things I could be doing right now. All right, so here's all the modules, and there's a lot here. It's not bad. It is not bad. As far as I know, it has every module. You can read codes on every module, clear codes on every module that the GAP tool can. Okay. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's true. I think the real distinction between this tool and the GAP tool is that With the GAP tool, you can, make your air suspension do the Macarena with, the programming functionality that it has. And I think you can update your firmware, reset your transmission adaptions, and do a few things like that, which are valuable. But here I am, I have 200, let's see what I have here. 256,363 miles on my car. And I've never had a GAP tool, so, do you need to have a GAP tool? No, I don't think you need to have a GAP tool. Is it nice to have a GAP tool? Yeah, I wish I had a GAP tool. But I just don't have $525 for it right now, So this was 130 for me, and it's done okay. Okay, so let's go read my codes just for fun. I want to tell you that if you read your codes and you have no codes in your Land Rover engine control module, it means the world is ending. Okay, it means you should trade your vehicle in immediately. There's something wrong with it. It should have at least a code on it. Otherwise, it's not feeling well. It's got a couple of codes there. Does have live data. Let's go take a look at live data. Data streams. And this is pretty helpful. On a number of occasions I've come in here. I have a misfire on cylinder 3. So let's go cylinder 3 misfire counter. 0! What is going on? Oh my goodness, it must have fixed itself. I will tell you. Oh boy, I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I had an engine misfire on cylinder 3. It wasn't that bad. It just kept coming back, and I really suspected it was an injector issue. And so I put some, some of that magical juice in the gas tank. I forget what it's called. Is it Seafoam? I think it was Seafoam. And wow, maybe it worked. That's interesting. Okay. Anyway, it's for a different day. So this is what you can do in here. Airbag light. That's come on a couple of times because I've had my seats out, which meant I monkeyed with the restraint systems, and being able to turn that off and reset it has been helpful to me. It's been good. So that's that. That is kind of my thoughts on the iCarSoft. I think it's a great little tool for $145. I think that if you have the money to get a GAP tool and you are in love with your air suspension and want to make it do fancy things, that's the price you're going to have to pay to make it do that. If you have coil springs, if you coiled over, then I'm going to tell you that would clearly put my vote in the save your money and get this column. Okay, but if you got air suspension, I think that should probably be part of your consideration. So, and just for the record here, before I close this video, I have no affiliation with iCarSoft at all, 0. Nor do I with GAP, folks. I'm just kind of giving you my overall thoughts. So, thanks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. Appreciate it. Talk to you.